This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 707 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for March 25th, 2026. Welcome to the show. I'm here with Chris, Michelle and Lee. So this show we're going to go through Blooloop's article, The 7 Epic Breakthroughs of Epic Universe.
It's interesting because I used to find a lot of unique articles about Universal that we used to do a lot of episodes on, and I haven't found any for the longest time that I felt like we could cover, and then this popped up and I thought, oh, this is actually a really good, interesting topic of conversation. Because I saw recently that Epic was one of Time magazine's best places in the world 2026 or something. I can't remember what the actual title of it was.
2026? It's only March.
Apparently that park's got worse as well since 2025. So
wow.
I heard Mythos is the greatest theme park restaurant somewhere.
Yeah, only by bloody Theme Park Insider. That's the weird thing about that. It wasn't even like an industry thing. It's like Theme Park Insider. No offense to Robert Niles, I like him and all, but like, you're just a website.
Hey.
Yeah, but Universal ran with it.
An accolade's an accolade.
No.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, so are we ready to dive into this?
I think we should just get stuck in.
Yeah, there's a lot to get to, actually.
Let's do it. All right. So epic breakthrough number 1, mastery of scale. The scale is spectacular, and yet it holds up at every level. And the details there, down to the smallest level. It holds up in master shot, medium shot, close up, extreme close up, and even touch. Few parks pass that test. For example, Place Cachée and the Ministry of Magic have been created in a scale that takes your breath away, and yet every detail is complete. This is more than a theatrical set. You feel like you are in the real place.
That is so true.
What did I say to you? It was yesterday we were watching a vlog, and they were in Place Cachée, and I was saying about how it's probably my favourite of all the Wisdom Worlds. Because even though it's not even about the rides.
That's because there's only one and you can't get on it.
No, but it's not about that or the show. Just it's the scale and the detail and how completely immersive that is. Because you could be in 1920s Paris, no questions asked. I mean, obviously you can't because we're not time traveling. But
I think as far as scale, Ministry of Magic, like Place Cachée, is the best land at Epic Universe, arguably. Because my concern, I think just for pure scale, I think it is. Like for complete scale and immersion, it's like if Super Nintendo World is arguably second, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, but it's just so overwhelming.
I think it's a few dragons, Mike.
I disagree because
are you kidding? That place feels massive because of force perspective.
But I'm going to tell you, walking out of that portal and I can see the entire run of Stardust Races there, and that annoys me. As a theme park, as talking about this type of stuff, being able to see Stardust Races, I like it and I don't like it in equal measure.
Yeah, I get you. I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah. I remember when we first went and walked into that land, I remember telling myself, you could take a photo. Like if I were to take a photo there and send it to any of my friends,
yes,
like they would not, I could just say, yeah, I'm in Paris right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's that believable. And honestly, walking through there, get some low blasters inside your system and you'll feel like you're in Paris. Like it's like, oh, I forgot where I'm at altogether.
Well, that's true.
And speaking of mastery of scale, that land in particular has it toys with scales like on the spectrum in that when you walk in overall, yes, it feels like you're in Paris. So therefore it feels very large. But then we also, you walk into Le Cirque Arcanu, into this tiny tent, right? That you think is tiny. And before you know it, you're in this huge theater and you're like, they hid that so incredibly well.
I couldn't agree more.
And the same with the Ministry of Magic. Like you walk into a freaking subway entry, right? And then you enter, and it's this massive Ministry of Magic that's huge, and the different tricks that they used inside there. I mean, don't even get me started. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was listening to Coaster Radio today, and they were talking about, so they did a meetup in Orlando, and they went to Epic Universe for the first time, and Mike and EB, like Mike was saying, he thinks that the Ministry of Magic is, scale-wise, bigger than anything he's ever visited in any theme park anywhere. And I can't think of anything, like, obviously the example's Disney. Can you think of anything, scale and grandeur-wise, that matches the Ministry of Magic? Because I can't.
No, it's just such a grand ride. Like, even the I forgot the name of it, like the arms that swing for clocks. What do you call those?
Pendulums.
Oh.
Pendulums, yes. The pendulums, not the Kuka arms. Those are cool too.
I think you were talking about the arms on the back of the car.
No.
Somebody's got a 1% clock.
Yeah.
Yes, mine have got Kuka arms on them, by the way, in my living room.
That giant pendulum and the animatronic, that's like, it's such a grand, big open thing. Yeah. I am running a blank trying to think of something else that's like that in a theme park.
Like, even if you look at,
I can't think of an interior setting at Disney. The only thing that ever like pops into mind at all would be Pandora with the floating mountains, but that's an exterior.
Yeah.
And Soarin', but that's a screen, so that doesn't really count.
So it's not even like Potter's not my favorite ride there. It's quite far down, quite honestly. But if you compare it to what is arguably the sort of next grand attraction at Epic Universe, being Monsters Unchained, the scale of inside of that thing and the attraction pales in comparison to Ministry of Magic, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool and it's themed to what it needs to be themed to, but it's not grand like that is, and it doesn't have the scale.
But you wouldn't want that grand, right? Because you want the up close and personal of those monsters, right? And that tightness, that density that's in there is what works well for it. But again, going back to Ministry, it's just like you are traveling through this system, and it does feel like you're just in this open area traveling. Like,
yeah. And like the article says, it's not just those wide shots, it's the close-ups, it's the extreme close-ups. They have thought of every tiny detail. It's amazing.
I want to go back to what Michelle brought up and with the Cirque Arcanu. And I think the entrance to that thing is one of the coolest entrances anywhere, because of the illusion that it really does look like this little tent. And from what you can visually see, you see a little queue right there and like little black, you go behind the black thing, and there you have this giant thing that's behind it. Now, obviously I've seen from above. I get how it works, but it's still, even though I know how it works, I know where the show building is, I know all these things, I can still stand in front of that and my mind still is like getting tricks played on it. Like, it's so hard for me to comprehend that this little tent that I can see the whole tent is this giant thing.
Yep.
It's very cool.
It's so cool. And even just like walking around, I love walking around in there. I don't have to ride the rides at all.
No.
Or ride at all. I like just being in there, and even walking back in that little, I don't even know what you call it, but the little like alleyway where you see the statue.
Oh yeah.
Like if you go back in there, the windows
behind the tent, isn't it?
Like the window treatments are so cool. There's so many details everywhere. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's like so I need people to go and find the Okami.
Oh yes.
Because I know one of the lighting technicians, and she messaged me before we went, and she was like, "Lee, I need you to go and I need to tell someone about this thing, because I've spent far too much time going back and forwards to California to make this thing right." And we never found it. And so when we were there last time, I messaged her, and she was like, "Oh, it's if you go here, it's down there and above." And I was like, "All right." And I turned down that street and went, "Oh my God, how did I not even see that before?" Because it's massive.
We were looking for something tiny, weren't we?
The Okami. So in Fantastic Beasts, it's the creature that they capture in the teapot. So it shrinks to the size, or grows to the size of the space that it's in.
Oh, yeah.
So there is the Okami, and it is a lamp. It is like a lamp post, like a lamp. Not a post, like a lamp fixture on the side of a building with the bug that they use to capture it in the teapot kind of dangling underneath. And I was looking for something small. It's massive. And literally, I walked and turned down where the street it is, and it's the end of that street, and I was like, oh my God, like I saw it instantly. And it's
That's
awesome.
cool. I have to look for
Yeah,
that.
it's so cool. And just little things like that. There's so much. And it was like you said, Michelle, just hanging out in there is what made us appreciate it. Because the first time we went, I was like, it's okay, but there's nothing to do. And then when we went back in October,
Having a
John
few
and
drinks when you're
Becky-
in there
but
really
I
helps.
didn't.
I was about to say that, Tracy.
Well, we went back with John and Becky and Grace and Bree, and we went to Bar Moonshine, and we just kind of hung around. We had that awesome interaction with the Aura, Cosme Akaju, and then we went back later on that night and went to Cafe L'air de la Sirène for dinner, and then hung around at night. And it's just, I have such a bigger appreciation for that world now.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous.
I'm still reeling over the barkeep,
Oh yes, from Billingham. Was it Billingham?
Bishop.
Bishop Auckland, yeah.
Yeah, literally being
Bishop,
just up the road.
that's right.
It was quite funny.
Oh, he wasn't from there, but he knew people
Yes,
from there, didn't he?
yeah, and it was, but he knew, he told me where I was from, told me my hometown,
Yeah.
and was spot on. And I was in there with John, and I had an old fashioned in my hand. And John turned and said, "Oh, do you want another one?" And the barkeep said, "Oh, I can't serve you one drink while you've already got another one." He went, "But you're from Middlesbrough, so I bet by the time I turn back around, that's gone completely." So he's not wrong. I downed this drink.
How dare you, sir?
He turned round, but he'd already made me one because he knew. It's like, yeah, we have a reputation in Middlesbrough.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm from there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. It was funny.
All right. Well, shall we go over breakthrough number 2 now?
Break us.
All right. So the breakthrough number 2 is the individual lands are cul-de-sacs. In a traditional hub and spoke park layout, such as Disney uses for its castle-centered parks, each land connects with its neighbor so that you can walk directly from deep within Tomorrowland into the deep areas of Fantasyland without coming back through the central plaza hub. Thus, the full immersion effect is better because you can't see into or out of the themed lands. You are fully in that story world or completely out. Celestial Park acts as a palate cleanser between immersive worlds. Epic does not do this. Instead, you can only enter and exit each land through the portals, always returning to the central Celestial Park. I like that. Celestial Park is a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's like Tracy hit the nail on the head that I didn't see. That like they're the worlds and Celestial Park is the space in
Yeah.
between. And I was like, oh yeah, of course it is.
All the stars and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
I know I voiced concerns about. I know there's 2 ways in, but most people don't know that. And I did voice concerns about it becoming a bottleneck of people trying to get in and out of each portal, like at the same time. But yeah, I've never found that at all.
No.
No, I've never even heard of somebody complaining about that.
No.
Which is
No.
crazy, right? Like, okay, we're not there, but busy times, peak times, even in for Harry Potter, right? Like that, you would
Yeah.
think like should be the busiest land, and you would hear people complaining about it, but no, they worked it out. It's
Actually,
great.
to be fair, Potter's the one I do have issues with because you enter in and then go round to either the left or the right to get in. You can sometimes be bumping into people if they're coming. That should be a one way in, one way out. I think.
Yeah.
Would make that.
Yeah, but then
easier.
you would lose that illusion, right? Like you'd see out to
Yeah.
the park.
No, I'm
The thing
saying
that
that
you
wall.
don't-
That wall can still be there. It's just the left-hand side should be for people coming out, and the
Oh,
right-hand side for
okay,
people
okay.
going in. So you don't
like a
get
road.
that bumping in. Yeah, that's the only one that has my issues. But obviously, the biggest thing of having those portals is being able to control that reveal.
And it's done
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
I think.
But don't go
Potter's
too
probably
much into that though.
Okay.
Because
But
that-
yeah, I like.
Yeah.
Again, other than Burke, of being able to see Stardust Racer from
Yeah.
that side, being immersed in there, like when you're inside Place Cachée, or you're in Dark Universe, or you're in Super Nintendo World, you are there. There is nothing
Yeah.
else exists other than the
Yep.
world that you are in.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about it.
Yep. I love that because it honestly feels like 5 different theme parks.
It
Yeah,
really does,
it really
yes.
does.
Yeah.
You think when they start to expand, things and those portals get more and more attractions in, they're going to feel even more like that when they become bigger than they are now. Like, think about Potter with another couple of attractions in Super Nintendo World with another one, in a Dark Universe with another one, and then those worlds expand by, another quarter or a half. They're going to feel even bigger, and it's just, they're awesome. Like, Diagon Alley changed the game, really, didn't it? When they did that, and that's Diagon Alley is the front runner of the plan for Epic Universe, because they went, hey, what if we did a whole park like this?
How long's Diagon Alley been open?
2015, I think.
It says 20-something years. I was about to call you a liar. 2015.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was how long ago?
It was either 2015 and 2014.
So I think it's 2014.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder if they've been, not necessarily Epic itself, but they've been planning other ways of doing a theme park, and it's like, hey, let's try this with this one and see how it goes for a few years.
Probably.
And then that's been like the test bed.
So I'm surprised it ever happened then, because they're like, excuse me, sir, do you mind taking this survey? Chris goes, yes, I'll take this survey. How did you find getting in and out of Diagon Alley, sir, today? I couldn't. And they're like, oh, maybe we have to rethink this whole plan then.
You left out a piece where the survey's inside the land that I'm stuck in. I'm not out of it.
And the reason I'm not out of it is because I can't find my way. I'll be honest, there's a couple of times where I get confused where the exit is. Because there's that other exit at the top end, isn't there?
I don't know how you get confused. Anyway. Epic Breakthrough 3. This is why I shut you up. The portals create sharp, abrupt transitions. This contrasts with the traditional smooth blended transitions used in Disney parks. Designing Disney, Imagineering, and the Art of the Show, John Henge, page 79. I feel like I'm in uni. The sharp shock of transitioning from the neutral space of Celestial Park into one of the highly themed lands makes the full immersion theming of each land more vivid by maximising the plunge moment. That's a good term.
I do like that term.
It's during the initial plunge moment that any full immersion has its strongest emotional and sensory effect, and that effect is being compared to diving into cold water. I think that actually in this case it's much more pleasurable than diving into cold water.
I don't know.
That's
It depends.
my opinion.
It depends how bad your ADHD is, because if you're walking into Super Nintendo World, that plunge moment might feel like that.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was
how I feel after walking
Exactly.
into Super Nintendo.
It was more like boiling water for me, that one.
I mean, that's true, especially in May.
The plunge moment is the strongest, after which the swimmer gradually becomes accustomed to the new environment, the cold water, the sensation of neutral buoyancy, etc. By sharpening the plunge moment, the portals maximise the immersion, leaving a stronger memory of not just the plunge moment, but the entire immersion. Now for proof, stand just inside any of the lands and eavesdrop on the guests as they emerge from the portal into the land. You'll hear involuntary, spontaneous exclamations such as, wow, yes, a literal wow.
And holy
Yeah, all of us in this business always talk about creating wow moments. The portals of Epic Universe deliver on this elusive promise.
So I don't
agree.
want to talk about it too much, because I think it should be an episode, because we've ranked the portals. I think ranking the reveals should be one that we should do at some point.
Yes.
Ranking the plunge.
Yes, that's the title for it. But yes, Super Nintendo World is the one where it is overwhelming, but I defy anybody to walk into that world and not suddenly have a huge grin on their face.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Or a huge just reaction period of some sort.
Tears, and I've seen lots of tears.
But yes, the portals themselves have that from like the portal entrance. We said about the LED screens in that, and they're all transitioned. When we did the ranking of each portal goes from that LED screen into a thematic element of the world that you're walking into. So that transition, again, it lets them control that transition into the world that you're moving into, and it's so good. This isn't a good episode for us to be doing right now, by the way.
No.
But it's just, it is.
It's so true. I think they keep comparing to Disney and the castle hub and spoke design. And so I take myself back to like Magic Kingdom or Disneyland even, and you don't really get that plunge moment.
No.
except for when you first walk in the park and see the castle.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only time you get it.
Well, because you can't
Whereas
can't
this
control.
you get it 5 times.
They control it. I remember reading something about the Magic Kingdom, like walking into Adventureland. There's a lot of the transitions between the lands at Magic Kingdom. They have a lot of water effects, so they use the water as a transition, so you don't hear the crossover between those two lands. But as far as an actual, like visual, it's the same. It's like Lost you have it a little bit in Islands of Adventure, not so much now. But I always remember that thing that we really used to notice was that walking across the bridge from Seuss Landing into Lost Continent, and there's that twinkle of the Lost Continent sound as you move in. But
and you've also got a dog leg as well with that.
Yes, but you can't control that plunge moment in a park like that, whereas Epic allows them to do it.
You see, I've realised as well that with each of these portals, you have a reverse plunge, if you like, because you're getting a different viewpoint of Celestial Park every time you come back through that portal. So it's double bang for your buck.
See, obviously, as we went before, that Diagon Alley was the one that kind of started this, and then you have Pandora and Galaxy's Edge. We obviously haven't been to either of them. Do they feel similar to walking into a World of Epic universe?
No, and that's what I was literally just thinking in my head as you were talking. Because for me, like, there are plungeable items in Disney, like the Millennium Falcon. You know, anytime a Star Wars person sees the Millennium Falcon for the first time, they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's like seeing Hogwarts
or the floating mountain
too. Yeah.
Right. But the difference is that the entry into those lands is very subtle. Like they merge into each other gradually. So you don't realize really that you're in another place for a good long while.
You go through a tunnel into really Galaxy's Edge, though, don't you?
So it's not a plunge.
Don't you go
it's not a plunge. It's like you're wading slowly into the water, acclimating.
Okay,
right.
I mean, you can argue that with the Disney castle as well, right? I mean, sure, you see it, but it's so far away. It's not that like reveal. The plunge, I think, the way he's trying to say it here in the article is like slap you in your face. Here you go, right there, right? Whereas, like Michelle's saying, it's not like that. You're gonna see stuff, and it's a build up rather than a plunge.
It's a build-up. It is. Yep, 100%.
I think we're all forgetting as well, we technically have a double portal. We have a double plunge in Super Nintendo World. It's not a portal as such.
We've got Donkey Kong.
There you go.
Yeah, true.
So you have that again. I've just remembered that. So there's another one.
And that's awesome. Yeah, that is like a world off a world. Yeah. Yeah, I like that, actually.
So it just makes... It's going to be like wormholes, isn't it? With expansions, they're just going to be coming off each other. It's just going to be like, was it a spider diagram with all little bits coming off?
I mean, if you look at the, it's funny. I said, Tracy mentioned we were watching a vlog at the weekend about what's going on at Epic at the moment. It was a Vincent Vision.
It was,
and he had a close up again of that gate as you walk into Celestial Park near the Kronos, and it's like the Islands of Adventure one where it's got a little icon of all the lands in there. The Epic universe has one the same, and there's a couple of blank ones in there.
Yes.
So they've obviously already planned to have Wicked is the one everyone seems to be talking about as far as its own portal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a huge Wicked fan, but I think as far as an immersive world it'll be phenomenal. But I just don't know whether it has the same drawing power as a Potter or
I don't think it's got the longevity. I know a lot of people be screaming at me now, but I don't.
Longevity is the word I was looking for.
I don't think it's.
I don't know.
I do.
I would argue that
I'm already hearing people stepping away from it.
I don't see it as Wicked. I see it more as Oz, right? So I think after watching, I haven't seen the second movie, but watching the first one, like it's on the list, but. Just watching the first one, I thought the Land of Oz, and even the original movie, I thought it's such a cool, bright place that works well in a theme park.
Yes.
And I think it would work well as a land there, even if you don't have that strong fandom of that. Go back to Waterworld.
True.
How old is that? Who knows about Waterworld? Not a lot of people. But that land, they made a whole land of it.
Yeah.
So I think in theory, like you can have a property that works well as a land. You don't have to focus on it being Wicked the land. I think you would just call it Oz, and you can tell these stories of Wicked, or you can tell the original story, and then just have this like really beautiful land that's very immersive and drives people in there. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I think that makes more sense for him to. So if you, like, it's How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, Super Nintendo World, Dark Universe, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. If they just called it the World of Oz or the Land of something like that, rather than it being
the Land of Oz.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think that would work.
There's plenty of books, there's plenty of titles to choose from.
Because it's difficult, isn't it, when you start to think now at this point of what... I think we need to do a Blue Sky episode of coming up with potential portals for Epic Universe, because it's a tough one to think of something in 2026 that you could put in there that either has enough nostalgia that it's going to stand the test of time, or something that's so big now that looks like it, or has enough things moving forward. Like, let's put Lord of the Rings out there, for example. It's not going because that's coming over here, but that's something like that has nostalgia. It also has a bit of now, but also
so much lore and so much to draw on.
And there's still stuff coming forward from it now with the new Searching for Gollum movie, or whatever the hell that's called. It'd be interesting to sort of see where we would all come at from a new portal perspective. Would be quite interesting.
I mean, I think Universal has to just sell the rights to Marvel off and then create a DC land over an Epic.
I would agree with that, but I think the problem is at this point you need a DC franchise that's 4-quarter, and we don't have one. They're not going to base it off the comic books. It's got to be movie based. So until James Gunn's DC universe becomes 4, 5, 6 movies deep, and you've introduced the Flash and Green Lanterns and all the rest of them, you're not going to see that. That's the problem, because they're not going to base it off the Snyder stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, that sounds like another episode.
Yes, it does. You're right.
I wish to go to Universal.
Right, off you go. We'll meet at the edge of the Forbidden Forest.
Where can our vacation wizards take you? Just tap the port key at portkeyvacations.com and let the magic begin.
So yeah, moving on, epic breakthrough number 4 is putting the park back into theme park. That's a clever phrase, but what does it mean? Like a park, the themed lands have become attractions in themselves, filled with refreshing little discoveries everywhere. This changes how people enjoy their day. Instead of a mad rush from one major attraction queue to the next, I observed guests slowing down and enjoying all the unnecessary details as if they were on a stroll in the park. No area exemplifies this more than the Isle of Berk based on How to Train Your Dragon. The land itself is an attraction. A repeat visitor can always find new discoveries, whether it is the baby nightlights, the snow wraith, which is the ice dragon, or Grump the dragon, who is snoozing and snoring by Gobber's Forge, and who every once in a while has to wake up and breathe fire to rekindle the forge, which I've never seen him breathe fire, by the way.
It does, but I've not seen it in person.
There is original dragon carving art everywhere, from tapestries to benches and even table legs. Adding those details is hard. Disney legend Marty Sklar, Walt Disney Imagineering, once lamented that it was very hard to justify doing little things like the Wishing Well or Snow White's Grotto, and yet little things were so important to a guest's enjoyment of a theme park, but only the big rides could prove their business case. As a result, theme park operators tended to invest only in big things that generate both increased demand and increased capacity. Pleasant little discoveries generate no measurable capacity or demand, and so they generate no business case. Epic is filled with delight, unnecessary excellence. The following is a bit obscure, but it really proves the point. At a recent private event at the Isle of Berk, I was struck by the unnecessary excellence of a humble portable catering table used to serve food during events. Below the tabletop, you would normally expect the usual aluminium chassis and wheels hidden by generic black table skirting. Instead, it was held up by elaborately carved dragon art and was further graced with props. This for the undercarriage of a portable catering table. Everywhere you look, unnecessary excellence. The guests may not specifically notice these touches, but they feel them and they like it. These details put the park back in theme park. They certainly do add carrying capacity, repeatability, stay time and ticket value to the park, which the guests can feel and appreciate, even if we don't yet have the metrics to measure and justify it. Beach-themed dessert with a star cookie in a sand-like display, shovel and sea creature candies. Epic's food and beverage offerings are similarly remarkable. Who can resist smiling when served Burning Blade cheddar bites in the Burning Blade restaurant? They look exactly like charcoal briquettes. Or the Hunter's garlic steak, a pretzel shaped like a dagger. Fun, excellent, and unnecessarily so.
Yes.
I
Yes,
would agree.
and yes.
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about all the details there. And one that I always bring up is the benches, which is mentioned here. Like that little detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love
I think
benches.
it's just so cool.
I love the phrase unnecessary excellence.
Yes.
Yes.
We have talked about the difference between true theme park goers and ride riders. An Epic Universe, like I said right from the beginning, that going to Epic Universe, the average person who visits a theme park needs to change their mindset completely, because this is not the park to ride rides. Arguably, there isn't a lot there to ride and the wait times are massive. But even so, even if there was a ton of rides in there, it is a park to be experienced.
It's an experience. That's exactly it.
Prime example, and we had a phenomenal day with Chris and Alexa that day we went because of things. But the perfect day we've had there that explains how to do that park is that day we were there with John, Becky, Grace and Bree.
Mm-hmm.
We got in some rides when the ride wait times were low. We went in and we drank some drinks and we had some food and we interacted with some characters and we wandered around and we ate and we drank and we experienced that park and had the best day.
Mm-hmm. As it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be relaxed and chilled and not go, go, go. You can see it's designed that way.
Yeah.
Yep. Like I would love to be a local so that I can just pop in to one of the lands, one of the worlds, and only experience like that world. Like I'm feeling Dark Universe today. Like I would love to just go and hang out in Dark Universe.
Yep.
It's
and
funny.
Just chill. Like I don't need to run around the whole park and ride all the rides all the time.
It's funny, you and Tracy are on a very similar mindset right now, Michelle.
This is my thing. I'm going to do this one day. I am going to go in. I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to get a snack, and then I'm going to sit by the fountain and just graze.
Oh no, that's where I wasn't going.
While I read a book.
You talked to me yesterday about your plan in the future would be to go and spend an entire day in each portal. Because
I was asking whether next time we go, are we going to buy that 14-day ticket from over here, which means we could go and spend all 14 days in Epic. But I think we should. I said we should dedicate. I said a half day to each portal, and that's it. We go in there, we eat in there, and we just do everything. You just stay in there and just be immersed in that world for half a day.
Yeah. Do you know what we need to do at some point is while all four of us are out there is do that. Spend a whole day in each portal. And then for the last...
What, separately?
No, together. Okay. And then at the end of that day, sit down and record a podcast about our day there. Like for the last hour, sit down or even come out into Celestial Park and spend the last half an hour or so just talking about what we did, spending a whole day. And I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be so great.
But it's just geared up to experience. I know we've talked about it a lot, that the theme park people just go and it's all about the rides.
If you look at it, it's geared up to slow you down. The paths are meandering; they're not straight. You can't go into one world and enter another. You've got to go in and come out. So you just. But even like Dark Universe is like a little teardrop shape path.
Yeah.
It's all just, you can't see more than, you can't see more than a few 100 yards ahead of you because it's all foliage and curved paths and stuff. And it's I think it's built actually with neurodivergent people in mind.
Being at Epic almost feels like being in a casino.
Okay, explain that one.
Like Vegas, for instance, like where they pull you into this environment and they take away all outer stimuli and draw you in so that time passes and you're not even realizing it, right? So like that's how it kind of feels to me when I'm in these individual worlds at Epic. Like if I'm in Dark Universe, I can completely forget that there's like a whole other park out there for me to experience. I literally can just be in this park for hours, in that one area for hours, and be like, oh crap, like we have, it's, you know, the day's halfway gone. We haven't even gone to Super Nintendo yet. Those individual worlds are so individually immersive that it's easy to forget that there's more to do.
Yeah.
And just again, we've talked about it a lot with islands and studios. Those theme parks feel so different as the sun goes down, and then once the sun's gone down. Epic takes that to the next level. Mm-hmm. That park is a completely different park after dark. It's stunning. Like,
so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yeah.
It goes back to that first one about the scale again. That I would dare anybody to take a photo in Celestial Park and it come out crap. Obviously, without like just pointing it down at the feet or whatever.
Challenge accepted.
I know that, but you know what I mean. Like, if you take an actual thought-out shot from anywhere in Celestial Park, I think you would struggle. And I'm not just talking about like I'm going to up the side of this toilet wall or whatever, but an actual
even they're well designed
shot across the park and it not look stunning. It's they have said right from the start that they're putting the park back into theme park, and they achieved it in spades.
They did.
Definitely agree.
Okay, so Epic Breakthrough 5, a new partnership with value engineering. It's often been said that value engineering is a process too often performed in your absence, in which people who are not engineers remove all value from your project.
Can someone explain that sentence to me? Because that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
It is that like, what do you call them? Like when you blue sky something and then the accountants come in, they say, no, you can't do any of that and kind of chop you down. That's kind of
like
how
they
I'm
take away. I take it as they take away all the little. They take away the unnecessary.
The embellishments.
What was it called in that last one? Unnecessary
excellence.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you
take away all those little details that might cost money.
Right.
We can hand carve a bench.
Therefore, devaluing.
Yes.
We can hand carve a bench, or we can order one.
Okay.
And the ordering is cheaper.
Yeah. Okay. One of the first things professionals notice about Epic is that it seems to have totally escaped the usual ravages of value engineering. How the hell did they do that? The caring details, usually the first targets of value engineering, have survived, and they are everywhere. This again puts a park back into theme park.
So that basically goes down to all those tiny little details. Like Chris, the perfect example is those carved benches. It's like, we don't need carved benches. No one cares. Let's just put normal benches in there. They don't need to be
all the
themed
trash
to
cans
that.
for each land are themed.
Mm-hmm.
But I always think that them talking about something like this is like, how do you know? Unless you're in there in the process of this theme park being created, you don't know what they've cut back on.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
Because obviously the people creating the rides and the lands and stuff, they will dream everything big, and then it's the bean counters that come in and go, yeah, we're not paying for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can take that away. We're definitely not paying. So you don't know what's been taken away unless you know what's been taken away. But
that's true. But there's still plenty.
Say you look at
unnecessarily. Yeah.
How much kinetic energy from like just moving animatronics that you're not even actually interacting with. They're just moving just to be moving.
Those dragons with a fish are the prime example.
Yeah, or my favourite sheep.
Yes.
And, and it's just...
Or the tails swinging with the dragons in the nests.
Yeah, and to be honest, that would work just as well if they weren't moving, but them actually moving just takes it to the nth degree. And they're things that could have easily been cut. And I'm glad they weren't, because it just makes it gives it a lived-in feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same for every world. There's something there that just, it convinces you that this is real. You've just stumbled into a real world. What are you going to disagree with?
No, I feel that that's where Dark Universe lacks compared to the others. If those characters aren't out, there's not a lot going on kinetic energy-wise in that land world. Other than the burning blade.
During the daytime. I think nighttime is a different story.
But even at nighttime, you've only got the electricity going off every now and again. As a rule, it's the one world for me that really lacks any sort of kinetic energy of like the stuff that we've just been talking about. And I wonder if that's...
I do think, though, that once the planting scheme grows up and fills out, because you need... You think of a lot of the classic monster stories, they have the wind rushing through towering trees and stuff. And the trees they've planted are quite spindly, so you will get a lot of that rustling from wind. And I think you'll see more kinetic energy there in the next 5 years when things start to grow up and fill out. That one's a land to be patient with, I think.
I think.
Also, don't forget it's not a finished land.
At the same time, though, it's not the story behind that land. It's not supposed to be kinetic, in my opinion. It's supposed to be kind of dead, like no pun intended, but dead and decrepit and creepy and
Well, it does what it does, right? It's supposed to be dead, like not a whole lot going on, but that doesn't serve well to a guest.
No.
To Lee's point.
Yeah.
But I think, again, and Tracy, you kind of brought it around too, is you don't have to have a whole lot of things going on if it can just give you that sense of eeriness. And if you have that with, like you said, the trees, the rustling, just some fear in the back of your neck while you're going through there, I think that's enough. But I mean, they, as a land, it's not a graveyard, but it's supposed to be dead. And how it plays out. I mean, you probably do need some street performers to kind of bring more life to that, or more foliage that brings that sense of eeriness.
To be honest, with that land, sound would affect it a lot.
There's not a lot going on sound-wise.
So when you're out and about and you hear bats in the wild, but you don't really hear it, do you? You feel it underneath your ears because of the frequency. If they could just mimic that would just create a slight sense of unease in the guest.
How would you feel if they added like speakers throughout the land that gave off, not at the level that we're used to, but gave off that like kind of background Horror Nights noise where it's like kind of wind, like you said, bats, right? Just to give it that spooky vibe.
The occasional scream in the distance.
I feel so we're talking about value engineering. This is what this whole article is, and I feel this land world is the one that's probably suffered the most, right? Because you've got Potter. Everyone knows Potter, so they're gonna throw all the money into Potter because they know people are gonna go. How to Train Your Dragon, massive. They know people are gonna go there, so they're gonna throw money at that. Super Nintendo world,
they wouldn't have got the license
that.
if they didn't throw money at that.
Dark Universe, we said it, with the only having 2 attractions in there, one being stellar and the other one being kind of underwhelming. It's weird because it feels like a world that they wanted to do but don't have full confidence in. So they've kind of gone, they haven't put as much money into this one because they're like, it's not, as a rule, it's not going to draw massive crowds in like Super Nintendo World is, like Burke is, like Potter is. And it feels like they've just eased off a little bit. So when it comes to value engineering, I feel this is the portal that's had it done, but then it's allowed them to do it elsewhere. And that might change, but I'll be honest, it's generally the quietest portal all the time in there.
But when you've got...
And I'm actually okay with that because I can ride Monsters Unchained as much as I want.
Exactly. I was going to say, though, when you've got Igor out, you've got your violinist, you've got the Invisible Man, you've got your hounds. When they're all... If you hit it and they're all out and about...
But they're not. That's the problem.
We've been in there, though, and it's been pretty close.
I'm hearing now it's very, very sporadic.
Yeah, I did worry about the fact that cut back.
The monster and the bride are kind of tucked away, takes that out. Igor, we've worried about for the longest time of getting harassed, and he's still there, he's still coming out, but it's... I don't know, it worries me. We talked about it on last week's episode about Vol being taken away from Volcano Bay and then coming back as a non-interactive thing. It worries me that certain things like that will get taken away because that land doesn't get the crowds that the others do.
No. It's funny because I was just scrolling on TikTok the other day and the video from our page came up of the violinist when we were all there, and that was such a fun experience.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite things about the whole park.
I literally posted...
He was creepy in the best way possible.
Yeah.
So is he the Asian guy?
Yeah.
So I posted the full video from when we were there in October on our YouTube channel yesterday, and he's awesome.
He really is. The fact that when we got the whole thing, and he made sure that he made eye contact with every guest. So every guest had a personal interaction there. It's fantastic.
It just worries me that it doesn't have that 4/4 market that the others do, and it's not going away, but I feel like it's out of all of the portals that are there now, if one was to kind of just like, oh, we'll just let that exist now and won't bother doing anything with it, that will be the one that gets it.
Yeah. I do wish Maleva moved as well.
Yeah.
UUOP is brought to you by the Producers Club. Join today and get bonus episodes, the chance to be a guest host, birthday shoutouts on air, be part of our awesome Facebook community, and more. Head over to uuop.supercast.com to subscribe. Shameless plug.
Okay, epic breakthrough number 6. Merging giant scale media with sets, props, and figures in motion. This is not really new, but a next step up in an area of technical leadership that Universal has been pioneering for some years. It began with The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, expanded with The Bourne Stuntacular, and has advanced even further in The Ministry of Magic. The innovative blending of technologies achieves new levels of illusion, combining a real feeling of vastness and frantic high-speed action with great story making.
I agree with that.
Yeah, we kind of touched on that in several of our conversations already.
Yeah. I mean, I know Potter's the one that keeps coming up all the time, but like, obviously we've been covering Universal for 15 years now, and we've been through that phase of like, screens work really well. They're dead easy. They rarely go down.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect the guest experience. And then every attraction at Universal was a screen-based attraction, and it was a joke for the longest time. That like, why do I need to go to Universal? I could just sit at home and have the same experience in front of the TV. And they've gone away from that, and now they've realised that the screen should be there to allow them to do the things that they can't do physically. And I actually think Monsters Unchained is the one that does it better than Potter, because those screens are like a two-layered screen.
Yes.
It's like a Musion effect on the front with the screen in the back.
Yeah.
But they only do the stuff that you couldn't. But then that integration of the animatronics and the screens is phenomenal. I mean, don't get me wrong, Potter's amazing. I overheard a VIP tour guide when we were there in October saying there is only one screen in, I'm not going to say the world because I can't remember, but I'm specifically going to say North America, that is bigger than the screens in the Ministry of Magic. Does anybody know what that screen is?
In North America?
No.
Is it in Vegas?
It is in Vegas.
I've just mimed it to Lee.
The dome?
Yeah. That is the only screen. He might have said the world. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, he said there's only one bigger than those screens in Ministry of Magic, and that is that Vegas dome. And that thing's massive. But it doesn't... Yeah. Again, I think they've done a really good job of... Again, I was listening to Coaster Radio, and they were talking about the screens, and it... Like, you think of something like Forbidden Journey or Gringotts, where it's very obvious that you're moving through and then you stop in front of a screen. Even Spider-Man and Transformers to a certain extent. You move and you stop in front of a screen and you watch something play out and then you move to the next bit. Yeah. These aren't like that. They've took that to the next degree with integrating... Yeah. Like, the first time we rode Ministry of Magic, that first Death Eater animatronic, it's like, there's actual actors in this thing? Yeah. And I went, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
Well, I felt that way on Monsters Unchained, which is my first ride on anything at Epic Universe. The way that they did screens with the animatronics, it just blew my mind.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
We need to do an episode of ranking the Monsters Unchained animatronics, because I think that's going to be a tough one. Because I haven't quite decided which is my favourite yet.
Well, in that case, I need to go back and ride it again just so I can do some research.
I think not necessarily...
Yes, over and over.
Yes, not necessarily the best one, but the one that's... Again, when we're talking about scale and grandeur, that Phantom is amazing.
It's perfect.
So good.
Okay, let's bring it home. Epic breakthrough number 7. The cross-silo integration of retail, food and beverage, and show.
It took you a while to figure out what F&B was.
I'm glad you did, because I was like, Frankie and Benny's.
To be honest, my mind went to Fast and Furious seeing that. But Fast and Furious.
Phineas and Burp.
This is also a further stretch of an envelope that is not new, just better. It is personally interesting to me because my first job in this industry was as a magician in the magic shop at Disneyland.
That's cool.
There, I was both an entertainer and a shop clerk, a very unusual combination then and now. I demonstrated the magic and then sold it. Traditionally, a person employed by the retail department is trained to operate a cash register and instructed to serve shoppers as a retail clerk, but they are not also part of the entertainment department. Actors and retail clerks are different creatures with very different personalities and wages. The traditional metrics that define success and excellence in retail often have a low tolerance for non-retail activities, such as entertainment or anything not directly related to sales per square foot. The idea of using clerk time or floor or wall space in a store to display props and settings that are not for sale seems crazy to old school retailer. Instead of this movie prop display, I could have a rack displaying over 50 t-shirts. But like Ollivander's wand shop, Cosme, Akajor, Baguettes, Magique, the wand shop near Ministry of Magic, and even the more modest Toothless Treasures and other Epic Universe shops cross the traditional walls of authority between departments, fully integrating retail and show. It violates the traditionally separate silos of authority and confuses old school retail metrics like sales per square foot, yet it serves the guests. Plus, employees have more fun too. And when the employees are having fun, so are the guests. And so are Epic's creators. It is fun to stretch the possible by breaking the invisible rules, especially when the public responds so positively to the result. It makes you think, what other rules are out there, ready for the rest of us to stretch or break with some fresh thinking? That may be the most important takeaway from Epic.
And I think the thing that that speaks to this that Universal have been doing for 11 years now, coming on this year, are tribute stores.
Yeah.
Is the prime example of merchandise and show all in one building. Because how much of those tribute stores are actual stuff you can buy compared to stuff that's just there for show?
Right.
Like probably 50-50, if not more.
Yeah, I agree. And how many times have we gone through and then realised you're at the cash registers and I'm going, oh, haven't picked up the things that I thought I was going to pick up because I've been too busy looking at all the scenery and
so it makes you go back through again.
And again and again and again.
And like me, all of that extra stuff that he's talking about most retailers don't like, that is the main reason I go into those shops in the first place.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I end up buying a ton of stuff. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
That's exactly. It's for a theme park. It's perfect. Like you say, even people who have no intentions of buying anything, I'm just going to walk through that shop because it's cool. It's a How to Train Your Dragon store. I'm going to walk through it and see all the stuff that's on the wall, and then go, "Oh my God, have you seen this T-shirt or this plush or this, whatever it is?" And you can't not buy it. Yeah, it's genius.
Yep. That's me. I'm that sucker.
It's interesting. This guy is called Bob Rogers, by the way. I thought I'd give him a shout out because we didn't. Of boiling down some of the things that we already know about Epic Universe, but dissecting it a little and throwing a focus onto things a little bit more, it makes you realize how much thought and attention to detail has gone into this theme park.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, probably 200%, to be honest.
That's fair. Yeah.
But then it also makes you think, how much of that stuff have we not seen yet?
So much.
I've told you, I don't think there's ever going to be a point in that park where you could walk in, spend a day there and not find something new.
No.
And that's that the park is 60% complete, 70% complete. I mean, there's still a lot of room for it to grow and breathe, which is insane because aside from the ride issue, right? Let's take that out of the equation. But the park itself is huge.
It feels pretty complete.
It feels very complete from a land's perspective.
Yeah.
But to then have even further growth and completely new portals and additions to portals, it's like there's such a bright future ahead of it.
It's very exciting.
It just worries me again that I see so much negativity online about it. There's someone I was reading on some Facebook group the other day. It was like, oh, we were there and there was like the pavements were torn up and there's walls here, there and everywhere. What were we watching? Was it the Vincent video? And he started talking about why some of those walls are up and stuff. And you're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Because saying, like, everyone's looking at all these walls up of like around bits of concrete on the floor. People are like, oh, it's because they've rushed it and they haven't done it properly. It's like, no, they don't know how this stuff's going to hold up properly until they start getting guests in and seeing how guests actually interact with the lands themselves and the concrete and the routes that they're taking. And that's when you find out the paths and stuff. So stuff's going to get worn that they didn't necessarily think was going to get worn, and they're just keeping up on top of it now.
100%. Yeah. I mean, it's like they're not popping up another McDonald's, right? I mean, This is something from scratch. And I think, Lee, you alluded to this before. It's like, well, if you can do it better, go there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way they set out. I'm sure they haven't cut financial corners just to get it open.
No.
And like we know, like all these people that work on these parks flip-flop, right?
Yeah.
They go between Universal and Disney. We know this. Mm-hmm. These are very talented and extremely knowledgeable people.
Yeah.
So again, like if you have a better way to slice bread, show us, please. We love it, right? It'd make a better park.
And then you're also talking about, it's not just Universal. They're subcontracting ride manufacturers and animatronic designers and builders and, like flower and garden people. I don't know what you call them. Horticulturalists. People whose jobs... Horticulturalists was the word we ended up coming to, Chris.
Botanists.
Whose job it is to know how to put these things in there. People and companies who've had decades of experience of building these things. And at the end of the day, a lot of it's probably down to people just not respecting the park.
But when you think about it, though, this park's been open over a year now, because when you factor in soft openings, that's a lot of footfall. That's a lot of people going through. So if you decorate your house, do you expect it to look all shiny and polished like it was the first day?
Well, no,
in a year's time, you don't.
Yeah.
Scuffs happen. This has got a hell of a lot more than a family going through a house. This has got thousands and thousands of people going through. Of course, some things are going to get bashed up. And the fact that they're on it and they're repairing it is great.
I would love to.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to know what the attendance has been since, like, from opening to today.
Yeah.
Because the capacity is up to what? We reckon the capacity is up to about 22,000 right now, which I don't...
I heard 29, or is that what's projected to the next increase?
22, I think. That's what... When we were there that first day in October, when we bumped into a friend of ours, that was the first day they'd raised it to 22,000. And as far as I'm aware, it hasn't been at capacity yet. The day we went with Chris and Alex is a prime example that we were able to rock up at 8 o'clock in the morning and get them tickets, even though on the app the day before they were sold out.
I'm so pleased we could.
Telling me. So I don't even think it's been selling out at this point. But yeah, I would be very interested to see how many people it's had compared to, like, say, Islands of Adventure in its first year, or Universal Studios Florida in its first year, or Magic Kingdom in its first year.
You'd have to quantify that with a bit of maths, because
like
people
inflation.
travel. Well, people also travel a lot more than they used
that's
to.
True.
Like when those parks opened, so you'd have to come up with some sort of ratio that was fair. But yeah, it would be quite interesting.
I mean, Michelle, as a travel agent, how many people have you seen? Have you had more people coming in looking to book trips because of the opening of Epic Universe in the last year, or not? Yeah.
Yes.
Like substantial amounts, or just like a.
Well, it's hard to say, because we do have a large clientele of repeat customers who frequent Universal, or at least annually.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of people reaching out specifically to ask about Epic Universe for one reason or another, whether it be Super Nintendo or Isle of Berk. Really, those are the two big ones, because everybody knows about the Harry Potter stuff, and that's at the other parks too. So
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I love the park. Look, and it kills me when I see people crapping on it, because I get the frustrations with it. I've experienced them myself. That first day we had in October, I said I saw the cracks in the paintwork, and it killed me to admit that we didn't have a particularly great day that day. But then we went the next 3 days with a change in mindset and experienced that park for what it is. Like we've said, experienced it and had 3 stellar days after that, quite honestly.
Well, we did start introducing more alcohol. That may have helped.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, that possibly might have helped.
Epic does not need alcohol, although it's enjoyable. Epic is fine.
I agree.
On a sober diet.
I absolutely agree.
It is so fun.
But then also, there's so many mocktails now.
Yeah,
like, I love that Monarcane so much.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
There's so many, like, I could just... I could just have the Donkey Kong Crush float for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like we had that for the day we met up with you and Alexa, Chris. That's where we went in early park admission and went into did Minecart Madness. Came straight out of there, got the Donkey Kong float, had that for our breakfast, and then came and rode Stardust Races straight after.
Why
It
not?
feels like ages ago.
It was a long time ago.
It feels like years.
Right?
Yeah.
But
What's killing me right now is that all four of us haven't experienced Epic together yet.
That's coming.
And that seems crazy to actually say that out loud.
Yeah, but it
You
gives
want
us
to go
something
this
to look
weekend
forward
or?
to.
Well,
I mean, I could be ready to go in like 20 minutes, just saying, guys.
Yeah, well, you got to get a job first.
I keep saying this.
that's future Tracy's problem,
It's
not right now.
It's right now is Tracy's problem.
You know, I mean, it's not like I'm not applying for any jobs or anything like that.
Anyway, that's another podcast.
Yeah. If you make it. Well, I guess that's going to wrap up the podcast. Don't forget, we want you to try the 3 cones at Epic Universe's Isle of Berk. I mean, go for it, guys. One in each hand.
You've only got 2 hands, so you can't do all 3 in one go.
Hey, there might be a clever dick out there. Record yourself.
Oh.
Hey, record yourself rating each one out of 5 and send those recordings to podcast@uuopodcast.com. And we'll see you next week for the next news show. See ya.
That's the end of another Stella episode of UUOP. Use the Flu Network to give you access to us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. And check out our blog at uuopodcast.com for everything else. Send your owls to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, jump down the warp pipe at uuop.supercast.com. It's alive on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else that podcasts are found. So please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. Dragons aren't the only way to get around. Email Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. Listen to them, the children of the night, the children of the UUOP network. Rush of Fear Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info. The Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando Food Podcast, Port Key Passport, an adult-centric Disney podcast, the unofficial Universal Great Britain podcast, and Big Dumb Stuff, our comedy, pop culture, and themed entertainment podcast. Make sure to subscribe and come back next week because in the end, it turns out all we needed was a little more of this.